Right now, an AI agent is looking at your business online.
Yeah.
And because it couldn't verify your last 3 customer reviews, it just permanently hid you from a buyer who was ready to spend $10,000. Welcome to the invisible economy of 2026.
I mean, it is a terrifying thought, but honestly, it is the absolute reality of the modern digital storefront.
Yeah, we are looking at a landscape where, and this blew my mind, 84% of consumers search for a brand on social media before they even consider pulling out their credit card.
Exactly. I mean, think about your own habits for a second.
Right.
When was the last time you bought from a company without, opening a new tab and checking their digital footprint?
Never. Literally never. If you land on a page and it looks abandoned or the reviews feel fake, you just bounce.
Right, and your buyers are doing the exact same thing to you, which means the digital first impression is no longer just a marketing checkbox. It is the entire foundation of your revenue.
But actually building and managing that presence, it feels like a moving target right now. The advice out there is completely overwhelming.
Oh, it's chaotic.
So our mission for this deep dive is to just cut through that noise. We've pulled together a massive stack of sources today.
We really have.
Yeah, we are looking at strategy frameworks from Business Coaching for You and the Ocean Wide. We're pulling hard data on social proof from DataPins and Lab Darshi.
And we've got brand authenticity tactics from In the Willow, plus we are diving deep into automation and AI tools with Stepper.io, the Conversa blog, ClickGrow AI, and Salt Marketing.
Exactly. So we're going to unpack the mechanics of how you actually mastered this environment. We're looking at a trifecta here.
Right. Establishing a structural strategy, validating it with authentic trust signals, and then scaling the whole thing with AI automation.
But doing it in a way that doesn't strip the humanity out of your brand. So let's start with the foundation.
Good place to start.
Because before we talk about shiny new AI tools or algorithms, we have to talk about what you are actually saying to your audience. Looking at Business Coaching for You, it seems the era of, post and pray is completely dead.
Oh, it has been dead for a while, but in 2026, it is actively penalized. Like randomness is the absolute enemy of the algorithm right now.
Wow, actively penalized.
Yeah. If you are just waking up on a Tuesday, looking at a blank screen and pasting whatever spontaneous thought comes to mind in hopes it goes viral, you are actively confusing the algorithms that categorize your business.
Yeah, they don't know what to do with you.
Exactly. They demand structure. They demand what marketers call content pillars.
Okay, let's break that down mechanically. What exactly is a content pillar doing for a brand?
At a fundamental level, a content pillar is just a core theme your brand consistently discusses. It is a strategic lane.
Okay.
And you should have 3 to 5 of these lanes. The research we are looking at highlights 5 highly effective pillars you need to be cycling through.
Let's hear them.
So you have your educational pillar, which is purely problem solving for the audience. Authority or proof, which demonstrates your competence.
Right.
Brand story, which injects the human element. Promotional, which is the direct ask for a sale. And finally, community.
Wait, I'm stuck on this community pillar for a second.
Okay, sure.
Because if I am selling B2B software or, I run a local plumbing business, building a community sounds like a massive time sink.
Right, it sounds overwhelming.
Yeah. Does every brand really need that, or is that just for, lifestyle brands selling athletic wear?
That is a super common misconception, but yes, every brand needs it. Because community in this context just means creating a space for two-way interaction rather than just a one-way broadcast.
Oh, I see. So it's not necessarily a forum with thousands of people.
Exactly. For a software company, that is a user group sharing workarounds, which, by the way, radically reduces churn.
That makes sense.
And for a plumber, it is highlighting local neighborhood initiatives you sponsor. It signals to a prospective buyer that interacting with you is a relationship, not just a transaction.
I'm trying to visualize how this operates in practice, and it sounds a lot like a television network's programming schedule.
That's a really good way to look at it.
Imagine you tune into a channel, and for an hour it's broadcasting live sports. Then suddenly, without warning, it's a cooking show. Then it's children's cartoons.
Right. As a viewer, your brain gets whiplash.
Exactly. You don't know what to expect, so you just change the channel. But predictable themes build a loyal audience because they train the viewer on exactly what value they're going to receive.
That is precisely the psychological mechanism at play there. You are building predictable neural pathways of trust.
Oh,
And it is vital to remember that these pillars are not arbitrary. They map directly onto the psychological stages of the buyer's journey.
how so? Like, break that connection down for me.
Well, think about a buyer in the awareness stage. They barely know they even have a problem.
Right.
If you hit them with a promotional player, then like a hard sales pitch, they will completely ignore you. They need the educational pillar. They need you to define their problem for them.
That makes total sense. You have to educate first.
Exactly. Then, as they move into the consideration stage, they're looking at you and probably 3 of your competitors.
So they're weighing their options.
Right. And that is when your authority and brand story pillars do the heavy lifting to differentiate you.
Mm.
By the time they actually reach the decision stage, that is when the promotional pillar naturally closes the loop.
Okay, so I have my pillars mapped out. I am broadcasting my TV network perfectly.
Yep.
But here is the catch. Just because I am talking doesn't mean anyone actually believes me.
Ah, right. The trust factor.
Exactly. I can post educational content all day long,
Yeah.
but how do I prove I'm not just a slick talker?
You are hitting on the critical friction point of modern commerce. Content tells a buyer what you claim to do. Social proof proves you actually do it.
And the data from DataPins and Lab Darshi is absolutely staggering on this front.
It really is. Currently, 92% of consumers will hesitate to make a purchase if they cannot find customer reviews.
Wait, 92%? That's almost everyone.
It is everyone. Basically, a lack of reviews isn't just viewed as a lack of information anymore. Buyers perceive it as active deceit.
Wow, so if you don't have reviews, they assume you're hiding something.
Precisely. The modern consumer assumes that if you were good, people would be talking about it. The absence of proof is proof of failure.
That is brutal.
It is. And the financial impact is hypersensitive. A mere 1-star increase in a Yelp or Google rating correlates to a 5 to 9% bump in overall revenue.
Just from 1 star.
This 1 star. Furthermore, pages that feature user-generated content see web conversions jump by 29%.
Okay, I want to dig into the mechanics of how this proof is actually displayed on a website because the sources are incredibly specific here.
Yeah, they don't mess around with this.
No, they don't. They mention verifiable customer reviews pulled via an API and project galleries embedded with schema markup. What does pulled dynamically via an API actually mean in this context, and why does a simple screenshot of a 5-star review fail?
Well, to understand this, you have to look at your website through the eyes of an AI crawler or a search algorithm.
Okay.
If you take a screenshot of a glowing review from Facebook and upload it as an image to your site to an algorithm, that is just a block of dead pixels. It means absolutely nothing.
Because it can't read it.
It can't verify who wrote it, when it was written, or if it is even real.
Right, because anyone can manipulate a screenshot in Photoshop in about 3 seconds.
Exactly. But an API, an application programming interface, is a live data tunnel between your website and Google or Facebook.
Okay, so it's pulling the actual raw data.
Yes. When reviews are pulled through that tunnel, they bring all the metadata with them. The timestamp, the user ID, the cryptographically secure proof that a real human being submitted this feedback.
Oh, wow. So the algorithm reads that and validates your authority automatically.
Exactly. It trusts the API tunnel. It doesn't trust a JPEG.
And what about the schema markup for the project galleries?
So schema markup is essentially a translator for search algorithms.
Okay.
When you upload a photo of a completed project, let's say a kitchen remodel, you don't just put it in a gallery. You embed local SEO signals directly into the code of the image.
Like what kind of signals?
Geocoordinates, service type, location tags. You are giving the search engine hard, verifiable data that you physically performed this specific service in this specific zip code.
So you're basically proving your physical footprint to the AI.
Exactly. It builds local domain authority mechanically.
Hold on. Looking at the list from In the Willow, there is another form of proof mentioned here, which is brand videos.
Ah, yes.
And the second I hear that phrase, my brain immediately pictures like corporate drone shots, employees pointing at whiteboards, and that terrible royalty-free ukulele music.
Oh, I know exactly the music you mean.
Right. Tell me we aren't going back to that.
Thankfully, no. In fact, that highly polished, sanitized corporate aesthetic is exactly what you must avoid right now.
Oh, thank God.
The term brand video has completely evolved. What consumers crave now is radical authenticity.
What does that look like in practice, though?
It is a shaky smartphone video of a real customer unboxing your product in their messy living room.
Oh, okay. So unscripted.
Very. It's a behind-the-scenes look at your team trying to solve a messy problem in the warehouse. It is user-generated content where the lighting isn't perfect, but the enthusiasm is real.
And why does that work better than a polished ad?
Because that raw, unvarnished look is infinitely more valuable, it triggers a psychological trust response that a polished commercial simply cannot buy.
Because it proves real people are interacting with a real business.
Exactly. It feels authentic.
All right, I'm completely sold on the strategy. I have my 5 pillars. I am coordinating local influencer partnerships to gather this messy, authentic video proof, and I have my API-linked reviews.
Sounds like a great setup.
But realistically, I'm exhausted just thinking about doing this consistently across Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Instagram.
That's a lot of work.
How on earth do you scale this output without losing the very authenticity you just broke your back to build?
Right. You have just hit the automation paradox. And this is what Stepper.io and the Conversa blog tackle head on.
Because everyone is terrified of sounding like a robot, right?
Exactly. Everyone is terrified that introducing AI into their marketing will make them sound soulless. But the guiding principle for 2026 is actually very elegant.
What is it?
You automate the tasks, not the relationships.
Okay, break that down for me. What is the dividing line between a task and a relationship?
The dividing line is the concept of the human in the loop.
Human in the loop, okay.
Think about the mechanics of distribution. Resizing an image for 5 different platforms, scheduling the post for optimal time zones, detecting trending audio, syncing inbound leads to your CRM.
Pulling data for reports.
Yes, all of those are tasks. Machines are infinitely better and faster at them than we are. You hand all of that over to the AI without a second thought.
Okay, but let me challenge this for a second.
Go for it.
Because Stepper explicitly talks about using AI to draft responses to direct messages.
Yes, it does.
If I'm letting an AI read my customers' DMs and write replies for me, aren't we killing the exact authenticity we just built? If a robot is handling the conversation, how is that keeping the relationship human?
Because the boundary lies entirely in who ultimately hits send.
Ah.
Let's look at a concrete mechanism here, proactive triage. Imagine you have an automation tool doing sentiment analysis on your incoming social media mentions.
Okay.
The AI spots a furious message containing words like broken, angry, or refund. It immediately flags it, pulls the customer's purchase history from your CRM, and pings a human support agent in a Slack channel.
Wow. Okay, so it does the heavy lifting instantly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it provides a pre-drafted response based strictly on your return policy.
I see. So the machine does the sorting and the data retrieval, but the human does the actual solving.
Exactly. The human agent reads the draft.
Yeah.
They realize it sounds, a bit too sterile, so they tweak the opening to add genuine empathy.
Right, they make it human.
They review the context, ensure the solution is appropriate, and then the human hits send.
So the AI acted as an operational co-pilot.
Yes. It saved the agent 10 minutes of typing and digging through databases, and as a result, the angry customer got a personalized, empathetic response in 2 minutes instead of 4 hours.
That is brilliant. The relationship remained entirely human. Only the routing and the initial drafting were automated.
Exactly.
All right, I'm sold on keeping the human in the loop for the strategy and the final polish. But practically speaking, if I'm handing over the execution, the software I choose suddenly becomes my most important employee.
It absolutely does.
Are we just talking about better versions of Hootsuite?
Not at all. And choosing the wrong category of software is how businesses end up paying thousands of dollars for tools that don't actually solve their bottleneck.
So what are the categories?
Well, according to the breakdown from ClickGrow AI, the landscape has completely fractured into 2 distinct paths. You have classic schedulers, and you have AI-generate and publish platforms.
Okay, I feel like we need a solid way to visualize the difference here. Classic schedulers are essentially like a megaphone, right?
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
They just take whatever you yell into them and amplify it on schedule. But these new AI platforms, they are more like a literary ghostwriter.
Oh, I like that.
Like, they read your past 10 years of journals to learn how you think, how you structure your arguments, and then they write the next chapter for you in your exact voice.
That is a phenomenal way to differentiate them. And it highlights the mechanism of how they actually work.
Right.
A classic scheduler, your standard Sprout, Social, or Buffer, is just a queue.
You are still the bottleneck.
Exactly. You still have to conceptualize the pillar, write the copy, create the visual, and load it in. If you have a dedicated social media manager who just needs a place to organize their work, a megaphone is great.
But if I'm a business owner?
Right. If you are a business owner who is missing weeks of posting because you physically do not have the time to sit down and write, Buying a megaphone won't help you.
You have nothing to yell into it.
Exactly. You need the ghostwriter. You need platforms like ClickGrow's Social AI or Predis, which actually learn your brand and generate the content.
But the sources wave some massive red flags about shopping for these AI ghostwriters. What should you be looking out for so you don't get scammed?
The most glaring red flag is a tool that claims to be AI-powered, but only writes generic captions and doesn't feature native visual generation.
Oh, so it just spits out text.
Right. If a platform spits out a paragraph of text, but you still have to go hunt down stock photos or design graphics in another program,
Yeah.
you are still doing 80% of the manual labor.
That defeats the whole purpose. What about the voice itself? Because I've used tools where you just pick a tone from a drop-down menu and it always sounds completely unnatural.
That is the second red flag right there.
Yeah.
Relying on a generic tone slider.
Like pick funny or professional.
Yes. If an AI platform asks you to choose between professional, casual, or witty, run the other way.
Why?
Because human voice is not a linear spectrum. It is a complex collection of unique vocabulary, sentence pacing, and specific industry framing.
It's way more nuanced.
Exactly. A true 2026 AI platform requires actual brand voice training. It needs to ingest your website URL, read your past blog posts, and analyze your previous social media to map the neural pathways of how you speak, not just assign you a generic personality.
That is so cool. And mechanically, this level of intelligence isn't just changing how you post a carousel on LinkedIn. This is fundamentally shifting the entire power dynamic between you, the business owner, and the marketing agencies you might hire.
Oh, this might be the most consequential shift of the decade.
Salt Marketing goes heavily into detail on this.
They do. For over 20 years, the industry standard was the 30-day monthly agency report.
Oh, the dreaded PDF.
You know it. You paid a massive retainer, the agency ran your ads, and at the end of the month, they handed you an opaque PDF full of vanity metrics. Impressions, click-through rates, likes.
Stuff that looks good but doesn't mean anything.
It was completely curated to make the agency look successful, regardless of whether you actually saw any bottom-line revenue.
But AI just killed the monthly report.
It completely vaporized it, because AI tools now give business owners real-time, unvarnished visibility into performance.
What does that look like? What is an AI anomaly detection system actually doing mechanically?
It is running continuously in the background of your ad accounts, comparing current performance against historical data and industry baselines.
Okay.
So if a Google Ads campaign starts bidding on the wrong keywords and burning cash, the AI flags it in 3 hours, not 30 days.
Wow. 3 hours.
Yes. You no longer have to blindly trust an account manager's curated PDF. The AI shows you exactly where the waste is occurring immediately.
Which is incredibly empowering for you as a business owner. The asymmetry of information is totally gone. You can literally pull out your phone while drinking your morning coffee and see the absolute truth of your marketing ROI.
And you desperately need that real-time truth because the financial stakes right now are unforgiving.
The costs are way up, aren't they?
Yes. Since 2023, Google Ads cost per click has risen by an average of 19% year over year.
Ouch.
The margin for error is gone. Salt Marketing's data shows that unmanaged or poorly managed ads routinely waste 35 to 60% of their budget.
That is insane. You simply cannot afford to wait 30 days to find out a campaign is bleeding out.
No, you can't.
And it's not just about managing ad spend on traditional platforms anymore. The underlying architecture of how a human being searches the internet is changing entirely.
Yes. We are moving rapidly from search engine optimization to GEO.
Generative engine optimization.
Exactly.
Wait, pause here. Explain the mechanical difference between those two. How is GEO different from regular SEO?
So traditional SEO is all about keyword density and backlinks, right?
Yeah.
You were trying to rank on a page of 10 blue links.
Right, the classic Google page.
But buyers are increasingly bypassing Google entirely. They are opening ChatGPT or Microsoft Copilot and asking highly specific conversational questions.
Like, what is the best CRM software for a real estate agency with 5 agents?
Exactly. And the AI isn't giving them a list of links to click through. It is giving them a single synthesized answer.
Right, it just tells them what to buy.
Yes. Large language models don't read web pages like humans do. They map relationships between concepts. It's what we call entity recognition.
Entity recognition, okay.
So, to be the answer the AI spits out, you have to feed it unstructured business data that proves your authority. If you lack deep educational content pillars, and if you don't have that API-verified social proof we discussed,
The machine doesn't trust you.
the AI cannot map your entity. You are completely invisible to the generative engine.
So you simply don't exist to that buyer.
You do not exist.
Oh.
This is why you can no longer treat your marketing as siloed departments. Your website's schema markup, your Google marketing, your AI ghost-written social media pillars, and your email automation.
They have to be connected.
They must all operate as one unified engine, what the industry is calling marketing as a service, or MOS.
Right, and obviously setting all of that up, the API tunnels, the AI ghostwriters, the anomaly detection, that is incredibly complex.
Is a lot to build in-house.
Which is why, when you look at all these tools and strategies, the research really points toward finding the right partner to execute this unified MOS approach. And honestly, pointing to an agency like GrowthRight Solutions is usually the answer for actually pulling this off without pulling your hair out.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Because you need someone who already understands that unified architecture. GrowthRight Solutions fits that exact model perfectly, stepping in to run that marketing as a service engine so you aren't trying to staple 5 different softwares together yourself.
Exactly. Because when they are unified properly, the compounding effects are massive.
Staggering. Take email, for example. The data shows well-executed email automation still yields an average $36 return on a single $1 investment.
That's incredible.
But it only generates that return if the social media algorithm drove the initial awareness, the verifiable reviews on the website built the trust, and the AI chatbot captured the lead efficiently.
It all has to work together.
It does.
Let's take a breath and recap this because we have covered a massive amount of ground today.
We really did.
We started by tearing down the chaos of spontaneous posting, recognizing that human brains crave the predictable programming schedule of strategic content pillars.
Right.
We then validated those pillars by gathering authentic, verifiable social proof, using APIs and schema markup to prove to both humans and machines that we are who we say we are.
Then we explored the automation paradox, learning to scale our distribution by letting machines handle the tasks, while fiercely protecting the human element at the actual point of interaction.
Exactly. We navigated the software landscape, figuring out if we need the megaphone of a classic scheduler or the literary ghostwriter of a true AI platform.
Yeah.
And finally, we looked at how real-time anomaly detection is handing power back to the business owner, forcing us to prepare for this new era of generative engine optimization.
And that transition to GEO leaves us with a truly fascinating and, well, somewhat unsettling thought to consider as we look past 2026.
Lay it on us.
If AI search engines are now doing all the heavy lifting, if they are the ones reading your content pillars, parsing your API reviews, mapping your entity, and then providing a single definitive recommendation to the user,
Yeah.
what happens to your strategy when your target audience is no longer a human buyer at all?
Wow.
What happens when the entity making the purchasing decision is a personal AI agent acting on behalf of a consumer?
Mm.
Are you optimizing your business's narrative to appeal to human psychology? Or do you need to start preparing to market directly to the machine logic of the AI that serves them?
That is something to chew on, because if the lights are flickering and the data is corrupted in your digital storefront, the AI isn't just going to walk past your window. It is going to ensure its human user never even knows your business existed in the first place. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. Catch you next time.